Good morning, class. Today we will be presenting our sales pitch for Silas Solution. Our group is me, Jasper, with Pranav and Logan. And a little bit of a table of contents. We will be going over an introduction, followed by projects and strategies and benefits. After that, we'll be talking about the project plan, go over some appendix, and of course some endnotes. Part 1, Introduction and General Context. Alright, part 1 is the overview. So with the unparalleled innovation of technology leading the way of today's society, it has become more accessible and more affordable to own one of these everyday devices, including handheld phones and tablets. More and more people can be reached with these products, and even the youth of this generation is also getting their hands on this innovation. The youth of society is growing up in an age where technology can be found left and right, and it is quite remarkable how these children are getting opportunities that many would have never dreamt of in the past. However, with the growing presence of social media and the internet at their fingertips, it is not too common to see children choose to interact with their devices than their fellow peers. This has become a problem that previous generations have not seen before. This is where Silas Solution comes in. Silas Solution uses this new wave of technological innovation, and it utilizes it to be the tool for teachers and even parents to encourage and implement social skills on the youth. The goal of Silas Solution is to give the youth generation the tools necessary to improve their social skills, which they can carry over with them for the rest of their life and will benefit them down the road. While many are struggling to escape the trap of technology, and it is hard to blame them, Silas Solution actually uses this growth in technology to their advantage. It is basically a tool that can be used by kids in and outside the classroom to help them work and improve upon their social skills. The problem that this tool is hoping to solve is to encourage kids to get off their technological devices all the time and go out and interact with their fellow peers. Teachers and parents can rest aside their concerns about their children's ability to socialize and work together. The tool that is the Silas Solution encourages kids to interact with the program, and it will teach them real-world scenarios where they can leave with the skills necessary to work together and network in the real world, and ultimately counter this trend in the increase of antisocial behavior in the new technological era. We see it left and right. Kids of all ages are now picking up these handheld devices or tablets, and issues are beginning to surface like never before. Negative consequences include the need for instant gratification, poor face-to-face interaction, and risk of depression. Shockingly, some teenagers have even reached a total of an average more than 11 hours, according to a 2010 study from the Kaiser Family Foundation. Moreover, screen time can actually cause depression. It is because chronic stress created from looking at screen changes hormone levels, and this change can lead to depression. It is hard to believe that depression is a possible result with this new increase in technological devices expanding into children. But the social aspect could be the most concerning issue with this development. Instead of kids coming home and interacting with people, they hop on an electronic device, and that is a real challenge. These kids are minimizing their relationships with friends and family, and they also causes their social skills to suffer. The reason for a good set of social skills is that they are prepared for a lifetime of healthier interactions in all aspects of life. The skills they pick up at a younger age translate down the road, but the technology interferes with their development. It can't be any more simple. Social skills are an integral part of functioning in society. The time is now to find a viable option to stop the clogging of social development, and Silas Solution is definitely a capable solution. Without question, the intended audience would be the youth, but what demographic would this be best suited for? The best or most ideal audience to implement this would probably be those between 4th to 7th grade. The reason for this grade range is most likely the part that most children at those age range nowadays receive their own tech product. When they were younger, they were exposed to technology, but it was never their own. At this age, most parents are buying their kids a device, not to say that it's the latest and greatest, but these kids at this age are getting at least something. The target for the Silas Solution tool should be towards the second half of children in elementary school, and gender and race is a non-factor in the availability of this product. As long as the student is of age and attends school, he or she should have access to this learning tool.
Well, kids Kids and smartphones. Most kids have them, or tablets, or gaming consoles, or some type of digital screen for hours every day they're on them.
Tonight, Terry Parker investigates the growing concern about how all that screen time can change a child's brain.
I would say they're on the phone a good 8 hours a day.
They're only 10 and 12, but like most kids, Alexa and Sophia love their digital devices.
Guys, can you put your phones away? It's time for homework.
Robin Barrero keeps the girls on track. They've got activities and spend plenty of time outdoors. They do homework and love to read. Well, Sophia does. But still, there's all those hours with their eyes glued to a fast-moving, information-glutted digital screen.
I want to know the long-term result, I mean, does it make them more ADD?
At some level, the way we use our brains is being changed.
Dr. Lloyd Zucker is chief of neurology at Delray Medical Center. He, too, is fascinated about the effect digital screen time has on the way our children think and process the world.
With fragmented attention, your learning is inhibited or much poorer if it was to be tested.
Some studies also show the constant reward of social media likes and always being connected produces dopamine in the brain, producing a feel-good response similar to addiction.
It's like constant. You just look over it again and again and again to see like what's something new. Yeah.
I don't think that the 10-year-old or the 8-year-old or the 6-year-old knows when to shut it down.
Part 2, Project, Strategy, and Benefits. The main objective of Silas Solutions is to implement this tool within classrooms at an early age. With these students growing up in an era of technology, it is important that we ensure this rapid spread of connectivity doesn't impact the younger generation's ability to socialize with peers face-to-face. By using Silas Solutions in the classroom, students will learn and be encouraged to set these devices down and perform the skills learned in real-life situations. This tool is meant to be enforced through education during grade school in order to introduce the fact that working with others is an important aspect of life. Without intertwining education, technology, and real-life social skills, younger generations will only grow more and more attached to these devices. By then, it might be too late. Silas Solutions uses the attraction of technology in a constructive environment to teach students how to interact with one another. The advisor/teacher will have the ability to determine what the student will work on by creating a script for them to follow. Although the script is only meant as a guideline for the student to be led in the right direction, the student will use their own imagination to create a game-like platform assembled to act like a real interaction that can occur. Under supervision, the students will communicate with one another as if they're the avatar in the model. This process will allow the student to be interested in the game they created, as well as learn from these designed interactions leading to real-world application. Silas Solutions is truly the next best thing in education. Students need to start learning how to interact and hold a conversation at a young age, and there is no better way than using something that will interest them. This program will allow students to see how real-life interactions should look like, then use these skills that they have learned in their life. By using a video game-like structure, students will be more involved and interested in what they are learning. This will lead to more things learned as well as real-life connections being made. Without teaching younger generations how to interact with others, they will only grow closer and closer to the devices and more socially awkward. Social interaction is a major component of life that we must start teaching our children. Silas Solutions will ensure that students will learn social skills and will be shown through real-world situations and absolutely impact generations to come.
Study found that between 50 to 60% of people are finding work via direct referrals and other internal moves. Things like moving a resume onto the top of a pile or giving a personal direct referral. That means that more than half of people are using their network as a means to further their careers. Now, this doesn't mean that the number of friends that we have on Facebook directly contributes to how successful we are, because this network only really includes individuals who like you enough to want to help you out, as well as put their name on the line just for you. But if we were to sit down and count the number of people who fit these requirements in our lives, we might find that we don't know as many people as we think we do. In fact, the average American reports only having about 9 people that they would consider themselves to be close with. 39% of people report only having 3 to 5, and 14% of people report only having 1 to 2. So how is it that the skills needed to develop something that determines the careers of 60% of people is barely ever covered in school? Things that can improve your network, mainly social skills, including conversation skills, body language skills, leadership skills, public speaking skills, and sales skills, are not being or barely ever covered at all in schools. It's silly to think how some people can spend 15 years of their life dedicated to educating themselves, yet they never really learn the skill set that has the highest chance of ensuring their future. A lot of it comes down to the way our educational system thinks. They think, these kids, they'll figure it out themselves. But the truth is, the large majority of people have a huge room for improvement in terms of their social skills. Personally, even I had issues when it came to building connections when I was a lot younger. But luckily for us, we live in the golden age of information. Videos, books, courses, and studies are all within a moment's reach. The one thing that schools forgot to teach us is how to build up our connections. So take this opportunity as a reminder to work on ourselves, because it is vital to our success in the future.
Part 3, project plan. So this is an overview of the implementation of Silas Solutions. So as you can see, there are 3 phases of development. The beginning is in December of 2018, and the planned end is around June of 2022. For phase 1, during this phase, the technology will be developed and tested to prove its effectiveness as well as its potential success in the market. The projected amount of employees needed are around 7, simply for programming development, testing, and initial target promotion. The funding for this phase is primarily from initial funding from investors and other stuff. For phase 2, phase 2 is product and name establishment as well as sales. So Silas Solution continues to undergo constant development and testing to ensure its quality and effectiveness. Silas opens for sale to businesses to establish credibility for the product as well as the company, and incoming revenue allows for funding on top of continued funding from investors as a runway for major growth. Phase 3, major growth and widespread establishment. Silas Solutions sales aim for implementation within schools worldwide, ranging from public school systems to even universities. Silas will become less reliant on funding and provide great returns on investment from large amounts of revenue from all the systems Silas Solution is implemented within. So if you take a look at this chart, you can get a brief overview of like the man hours and how long each phase lasts. So the longest phase out of the 3 is phase 3, which is mostly just once we've already gone on our feet and we're implementing within systems worldwide. Part 4, appendix. So this is our works cited. Part 5, endnotes and improvements. So in terms of areas of improvement, some areas that could be improved for this product is to have multiple versions. It would be beneficial if there was a version for kids that could target those that are going into elementary school. This way, they will have adequate social skills when going into their first years of school. Another way that the service or tool can be improved is making another version for at-home use. It is nice to get these products into school computers, but why not allow these children to play around with it at home as well? This home version should be customizable because education in general is not a one-size-fits-all. The school version may be fixed to meet the school's goals, but the home version should be fluid and adapt to each user accordingly. The final area that this service could be improved upon is making it available to those who may not be able to afford the home version. It should be available in public libraries so kids can access the service no matter the income or environment. So the 4 main points are: 1, utilize technology; 2, grow social skills; 3, support youth; and 4, prevent the issue before it's too big. Thank you for listening to our pitch.